just super inspiring to see, you know, the grit and the effort that she put in to get herself where she is. It certainly wasn't luck or knowing the right people or anything like that. It was just a lot of work and the right kind of work and the decision. Yeah, she talked a lot about that. That is a decision every day.
One of my favorite Danielle Natoni stories is about her at the gas station. Did she tell that story?
About
filling her tank up?
Yeah. Yes.
That's one of my favorites. So tell everybody what it is. I don't know if you guys have heard it.
I mean, just part of her story was that basically she was she was a teacher all day, and then she would like bartend into the night and was just like living a horrible lifestyle, like basically a drunk bartender. And then she'd get up and do it all over again. She had didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. Couldn't even fill her tank at the gas station. And then she got pregnant, and that kind of changed things around for her. And she was like, okay, this is not the lifestyle to bring a child into. And, you know, it took a long time from that point even, but started turning her life around and working really hard for what she wanted. It was amazing.
So one of those stories that she shares, I mean, that's, yes, absolutely part of her story. So one of the stories that she shares is when she would go to the gas station to fill up her tank, she would watch people, you know, set the little clicky thing so that you don't have to hold it. You know what I'm talking about? We all know what I'm talking about. So she would watch people, and she couldn't fathom how they could just set it and walk away. She's like, don't you have to stand there and be like, oh, 5 more cents, I'm a penny over. Okay. She's like, oh, and then, you know, you dig through the car, and we've all been there. You dig through the car for that 1 penny, and you knew that 1 penny in that spot, like you used it already. And then you had to dig for a new one. And so she talks about how she went through that struggle a lot. And the first time that she was able to put the clicky thing on, so technical, at the gas station with a Beachbody paycheck, she said she drove out of the gas station feeling like a boss, and she just felt like she had made it because she was able to set the gas tank and then just let it fill up by itself. And now she's talking about buying Teslas and things like that. But to me, you guys, this is an important thing to realize, is that yes, Danielle is an amazing coach. She continues to build her business in an amazing way, and there's tons of stuff that we can learn from her. But income-wise, she's not relatable anymore. Those stories from the past are absolutely relatable. I have had my butt in the air in the back seat, just trying to dig for spare change. We've been there. You know, we all know what that struggle is, and that's relatable. That's what people. So if you talk about the business opportunity and people are like, oh, but you're not making $1 million a year. So what? Most people aren't. So keep that in mind when you're talking about the business opportunity. You're relatable. You're where everybody else wants to be. A lot of people want to be able to set the gas filler upper thing and be able to walk away, or go to the grocery store and not care about what they're putting in their cart and know that they're going to have money when they swipe their card. So just remember, being relatable, that's a huge, huge thing. So I'm so glad, Mariah, that you brought up that she was there, because she's one of my favorites. And she's so genuine, because she's like, I don't have an assistant. I talk to all my people all the time. And I mean, I think that's really cool. She's just a really genuine person. So yeah. Anybody else want to share what oh, sorry. Did I totally cut you off? I thought yeah. Oh, I thought I heard somebody say something. I'm sorry. So did anybody else get anything from Super Saturday that they wanted to share? Mickey, how did yours go? What, do you zoom in?
My upline usually posts stuff as it's happening. So I'm just, reading up on what's happening while it's happening, and know that one day I'll get to go.
Love it. I think that's awesome that you're making time though to be involved, and you're making sure that you're up on everything. So does everybody have their summit tickets? So I don't have to worry about telling you about the flash sale. Okay. Make sure your coaches know about that. The 145 to the 31st. It's a great deal. Rachel Hollis. I would spend $145 just to hear her go speak. Right. Danielle's like, absolutely. Me too. For sure. So, anything else about Super Saturdays? Any other good nuggets that you guys got? No? No. So I went to DC and I had the opportunity to hear from Holly Hillier, which was really awesome. I met with her right before, and she was like, so I passed out this morning after I like did my hair because she's pregnant. And I was like, why are you here? And she's like, oh, it's no big deal. Like I pass out all the time when I'm pregnant. And I was like, well, why don't you go sit down and like rest before you get on stage and like the nerves start, kicking in. So when she was up there, I was kind of nervous for her, but she talked about 10xing your business. And the biggest nugget that I got away from her was when she was building and she really decided to make this business a business, her upline was like, okay, well now you have to build emeralds. Now you have to get your coaches to emeralds. And she goes, I don't care if they're rock stars, because Holly was like, well, I can get these guys to emerald, but they're not really rock stars. They won't stick around. And I really want someone that's solid that, will stay around. And her upline said, you're not building rock star solid coaches right now. You're building momentum. And that was like the biggest aha to me, because if you build your 2 emeralds and you get to diamond, boom, you're at diamond, right? And then you have your confidence. You can build 2 more emeralds. You can find somebody else. So instead of waiting for this rock star coach, do what you can with what you have, right? It's like grow where you're planted. Do the best with what you have. And you're building that momentum. So you have these coaches and you're building them, and other coaches see that. And then they're going to want that. So they keep going and you're building that momentum. So I thought that was a great point. Do you guys have any thoughts on that because I know it's kind of like split between quality over quantity. It's kind of in between. Oh, Whitney, your baby's killing me. She's like, ah, so cute. So any thoughts on that? I mean, I loved it, but I know that it's like, okay, we're looking for rock stars. But how are you feeling? Go ahead, Mariah.
I thought I unmuted myself. I've kind of shifted my focus to that as well, because I had like a few people that, really said they wanted to build, and I was kind of putting all my eggs in one basket and really investing a lot of time and energy in those people. And then I had like 5 people. I mean, it was like so close to 5-star this summer, like 10 coaches away. And everybody just hung out at like almost diamond forever, and then just started like dropping off. And so that was really discouraging, and kind of having to like build my team back up. I was like, okay, what can I do differently this time? And I've really focused more on like, as soon as people sign up, getting them to try to get some friends to do it with them, and getting them emerald quickly, and doing that with as many people as I can, and then creating success pods, with the people that are maybe just emerald or are just getting started or whatever. But I do think that building a deep team is extremely important. It's important to me. And not just having, a million people and not being able to take care of them all. But I think that you do have to kind of do that at first to see who your runners are going to be, and to never put all your eggs in one basket, like I said.
I love that. And to get to emerald is really no big deal, right? Just like you said, you're bringing people on. And as I'm talking to a premier elite group, yeah, you need that to happen for your elite points. So absolutely, for you guys, that's always what that's always what I suggest. Because, okay, you're coming onto my team. Awesome. Who's your +1? Who are the 2 people that you're going to bring on with you? Because our most successful challengers have someone that's going to do it with them. And guess what? If you get 1 more, then you get your product paid for. Like, that's pretty awesome. So of course, that's stuff that you have to think about within your systems. So that was the nugget I got from her. And I loved that thinking of, I'm building momentum. I can just keep this going. So that's something that I took away. So on my last call just now, they had gone to, where was it? Philly? I think they went to Philly, and they listened to Doug Fitzgerald, I think, Fitzpatrick. I don't remember which one it was. Larissa, did you go? Let's hear what you took from it. I don't want to ruin it.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so I thought I knew his name, and then when you were saying both, now I can't remember. I think it was Doug. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was like a founding coach. I knew his name 5 minutes ago, but I forgot it.
Something.
Yeah, and then Carl was there too.
Okay.
But Doug whatever his last name was, he just wrote a book. I think it's called like One Shot, One Life or something. And he just talks a lot about like priorities and like making sure that your priorities are, upfront and that you're sure of your priorities. And my biggest takeaway, and Whitney is on here, Whitney's my success partner. He talked a lot about having a success partner. And I guess in his book, he even has like a whole chapter about success partners. But he talked about how like with your success partner that you guys like need to make sure that you know each other's priorities and you know like your deep rooted goals, why you have those goals. He talked a lot about like when you're talking to people, like helping them figure out their why by basically just continuously asking them like, okay, well, why is that important to you? Okay. And then they answer and you ask again, well, why is that important to you, until you get to the core why. So that was what I took away from him. And then Carl, as always, is just amazing. But one thing I did take away from Carl that I've actually said to so many of my coaches over the last couple of days is he was just talking to us and he said, I can't complain about things because then I give you guys permission to complain. And I've said that, like, and that just kind of, I don't know, I just really like that because it's the same thing. Like, I can't complain about all the things that, are hard or that I struggle with, because then I'm giving my team permission to complain. And same thing with my coaches. They come to me complaining about stuff. And I'm just like, they're trying to be leaders, right? And I'm like, that's okay. Like, we can talk about it. It's okay that things suck. But if we complain, we're giving permission to people following us to complain. If we complain, we're giving permission to our challengers to let those things stop them, let our coaches let those things stop them, stuff like that. So those were my takeaways.
And this probably is kind of off topic, but when you said, when I complain, I give you permission to complain. And I can see it's like that negative energy, right? And the negative energy breeds negative energy. And I'm going to get really like kooky on you guys for a second, but we all know that. We all know that positive energy exists, negative energy exists. It's got wavelengths and all that stuff. Like, we know that. So I love that, Larissa, you're giving them permission for it to be hard, but not necessarily complain, right? Like, there's a difference. There's a difference in knowing that it's hard and being like, this sucks, it's hard. Okay, great. Yes. Do something with that. But a lot of times, at home, and I'm going to be really vulnerable with you guys. I get wrapped up. Like, I don't know if you have ever seen that meme of like, from 0 to anxiety girl in like under 0.2 seconds. Like, I will take a situation and then off the charts, like, the world is ending. I can't believe this. Like, I'm going to be late. And I know you guys have no idea what that's like, right? It's like, the baby has a fever, she has pneumonia, she's gonna die. Anyway, that's the kind of person that I am. And so when I get stuck in that, I look around and I see my kids and it's like, whoa, like, you just went down the rabbit hole like real fast. And so since I've been doing all my personal development, I've been trying to be like, time out, I need a thankful break. And I will just tell my kids, I'm like, hey, you guys got to like rattle off some thankful things right now. And we'll all take turns. And they're like, I'm thankful for my dog. I'm thankful for and half the time they're the same things. But at the same time, it's like, so I'm stuck in traffic. So whatever birthday present I got my son is late getting here. Like, I do have a house. I do have my kids. We do have our health. And it just kind of brings me back. It doesn't make it suck any less. It just redirects my energy, right? And it redirects everybody's, because you're not just influencing you, right? You have your coaches that you're influencing. You have your challengers. And if you let yourself go down that rabbit hole, your team's going to see that. I don't care if like you get on Insta stories and you are faking it. They can tell. They can absolutely tell. I don't care if you're doing your messages. I have a coach that's like, you know what? I love this business, but I just like, my passion is gone. And her business is suffering right now because she's not sharing with the same joy and enthusiasm that she usually does. Even though her words are exactly the same, it's not working. It's because her joy and her enthusiasm are gone. So that really stuck out to me, Larissa. So thank you so much for sharing that. Like I said, it sounds a little kooky, but I mean, if you're ever in the car with me and I start freaking out and I'm like, thankful moment, you'll know what I'm saying. Like, you'll just have to start rattling it off. And then when I like come down off of that, then I can share what I'm thankful with. And it's like, oh, okay, like it still sucks. We're still going to be late and it's going to be horrible, but like, look at all the things that we do have, right? And even at home, we have like a thankful wall. So when my kids are being punks, I'm like, go look at all the stuff that you have, okay? Instead of complaining about what you don't have. So something else, Larissa, that I got from Doug that one of my coaches shared with me is he asks 5 things for you to evaluate. Five things that you evaluate. Do you remember what they are?
Not off the top of my head, but they're probably written down in my notebook right over there.
Yeah. I'm like, well, yeah, I was like, that's like quiz time, but I wrote them down. So he wants you to regularly evaluate, and this is a great idea for every business. What's working? Okay. How can I improve? What's not working, and how can I change it or eliminate it? And then is there anything new that I can implement? Does that sound right, Larissa? Anything? Okay. So with these things, it kind of is a combination of the personal development that I've been doing, like mindset. Okay. I listened to a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and it was an awesome book. I highly, highly recommend it. It's awesome. So like the what's working. And one thing that she suggests, especially for children that are struggling in school or think that they're doing really, really well in school, go around the dinner table and say, okay, what's a mistake that you made today? And you start to celebrate your mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, you're not learning. So she says, what's a mistake that you made today? Awesome. What did you learn from this mistake? How can we fix it and do it different next time? And if you have a kid or whatever that says, I didn't make a mistake today, I did everything perfectly. Well, that's too bad. Then you didn't learn anything. We always want to be learning. We always want to be improving. So that's one thing that the what's not working. Okay, what are the mistakes that we can learn from? The other thing about that one is, I don't know if you guys have listened to the book or read the book, The One Thing. But the one thing focuses on, so you have your goal and then you break it up, of course. You know, you have those landmarks that you go to, you know, the different spots that you get to. So you look at, okay, in the first chunk, what is something that I can do now that's going to make something else easier or unnecessary? Okay. So you're looking at these things that you can do, the one thing that you can do now that makes something else easier or unnecessary. So it's taking things off your plate and it's making you more efficient. So I recommend that book too. It's kind of a harder read, but let me tell you what, Jeff Hill, like when he was holding up his book, it was like covered in sticky notes, like all around the edge. So he loved it. And I may want to buy it just to like underline and like take notes and stuff, because when you listen, it's a little bit harder. So any thoughts on that, you guys?
I think since we were talking about mindset and stuff, the one thing that when they asked Allie how she went from 1-star to 15-star, like what changed, she said that she honestly started winning in the morning. Like she got up like 5 a.m. before her kids, and she started reading out loud. Like she created like 10 affirmations, I think, or even less. And she said those out loud every single morning for a whole year. And she still does the same one. Some she changed. But she was like, I didn't believe in it. People kept saying that they worked. And it was like, I think the year she went as a 1-star to Summit, that was like the thing. Like everyone was talking about mindset and affirmations. And she was just like, okay, let's just give this a try, because what I'm doing is not working. So she said that, of course, you have to pair that with action, and everyone knows that. But she was like, every single thing in my affirmation list is completed. Like I have every single thing that I asked for. So, and she also said that she only invited 3 people each day. She was like, I'm not asking you to invite 60. I'm not asking you to invite like 20 people every day, because that's exhausting. But just connect and really invite people, 3 people a day. And my husband was like, that's doable, babe. Like you can do 3 people. And I'm like, well, I'm like shooting for like 20 every day, 40 every day. And he's like, you're exhausting yourself. Like just connect with people that you really, really want to work with and, you know, like invest time in that instead of just like messaging everyone.
That's an amazing point, because I have to tell you guys, like, affirmations, I feel like are magic. And I say that with a footnote, like a little asterisk, because when you use them, you actually have to believe what you're saying. You have to have like that lion mentality, like, rah, like I'm going to get it. And I have actually, like, again, vulnerable moment with you guys. I had an affirmation that I've been saying that I actually, like, it's scary to me. And I stopped saying it because I'm like, you know what? Not ready for this. So I stopped because I was like, I know if I keep saying this, it's going to happen. And then I'm going to freak myself out. So I was like, let's pull back a minute. Let's keep with the other ones. Maybe replace it with a different one. But I know that they work. And I know for a fact that Josh Coates does them. There's another coach named Ashley McClanahan that lives actually just up the road here in Utah. And she does her affirmations every day. She's gone from maybe a 2-star to a 7-star this year. This year, you guys, it's crazy. And she says it's mostly because affirmations. And I went to a Super Saturday and she was on a panel. And I don't remember why, but she was like, boom, here's my affirmations. And she just like read this whole book, but all from her mind. Like she just memorized them all. It was rad. So any other thoughts on that? Love the affirmations. Any other thoughts on the 5 evaluation things? No? Okay. I love the 7 layers of why, Larissa, wherever you went. Like, okay, you're doing this to make more money. Well, why? Okay, to help my kids get through college. Okay, why? And you go through. So I love that 7 layers of why. And again, I love if I complain, I'm giving my team the permission to complain. So love that. Any other thoughts, you guys? So what my message was when I went to Super Saturday, and I think this is a great message for you to take to your coaches or to your challengers. Okay, it's very basic, and it doesn't necessarily apply to you, though it could, but you guys are, like I said, always, you're operating at this higher level. So I think when I tell you this, it's more of something that you're going to take to your team. Okay, so between now and the end of the year, there's 60-ish days, something like a little over 60 days. 64, Kelsey? 64 days. She's not counting or anything. And by the way, I have like 23 days until my big race. But between now and the end of the year, challenge your coaches to help 6 people. That's it. Even if it's just yourself. And like I said, I know you guys are like higher SC numbers than that. But if you challenge your coaches to help 6 people between now and the end of the year, it's going to take the anxiety totally off of them. And point out that if they help, when they help 6 people with challenge packs, it's going to put $300 in their pocket. That could be huge. That's a car payment. That's a trip. That's Christmas presents for kids. It's a party. That's huge for people. So it sounds completely doable, right? Completely doable. And if you break it up to be 6 in November and 6 in December, boom, that's Success Club, right? And make sure that they know and that you know what you do now sets the pace for January. So right now is practice time. I want you guys to help your coaches figure out those activities that they need to do to start getting Success Club. I want you to help them figure out what their messaging is going to be. Because guess what? In January, if you're still figuring out those things, it's too late. You have to be on it on Jan 1, ready with Transform 20 in hand, ready to say, okay, guys, I'm ready to hit it. And Melanie Mitro, she talks about, and this is just kind of something to keep in the back of your head for January, but she talks about doing 3 different challenge group start times. And this makes so much sense. So let me explain. Because a lot of us are moms, and some moms want to start right after Christmas, right? Okay, Christmas is done. We're finished. We're going to start the day after Christmas, because to some people, like, that's the new year. Some people want to start on January 1st because that really legit is the new year, right? And then other moms are like, okay, finally my kids are back in school. that's the day I start. So think about where people are in their lives. Are they wanting to start when their kids go back to school? Are they wanting to start on January 1st? Like how does that work for them? How does that work for you? So that's how Melanie Mitro has typically done her groups at the start of the year. So she's what do you call it? Catering to what they want, to the dates that they want. So that's kind of a thought. But absolutely make those habits, develop those skills right now for yourself and also for your coaches. Okay. So any thoughts, questions before I let you guys go? You were all rock stars. No? Gosh, you guys are quiet today. Okay, cool. Well, I love you all, and I will see you next week then. Okay, bye guys.